Rather than Manchester United have booked our place to Wembley. We're going to Wembley, lads. We are going to Wembley in a cup final under Erik ten Hag, and I make us the favourites. I make us the team that is capable of going and getting the result there. And I thought there was some real positivity to come out of tonight's performance, which was a flat performance, wasn't it? And it was even flatter if you had to listen to the commentary because, oh my days, was that frustrating. Is it Izzy Christiansen? Wow, I hope I never have to listen to her commentate a game again because that was just bad commentary. And before anyone starts getting all crazy about it, there's some absolutely really fantastic female commentators. Just she isn't one of them. It's like listening to Steve McManaman. Just because he's a bloke that played football doesn't mean he's a good commentator, and just because she's a woman doesn't mean she's a bad commentator. She's just a bad commentator. And it honestly it was like listening to Talk Sport. The way they were talking about the game, and then as soon as we scored, it was like, yeah, Forest are crap anyway, weren't they? Never going to win. Mate, I'm disappointed actually a little bit. Joe, I'm talking about the positive stuff. So the positive stuff is United brought on a whole new forward three at the end of the game to go and push us over the line and get the extra couple of goals to finish 5-0 on aggregate. I'm disappointed in Forest because genuinely thought that Steve Cooper was craftier than he's demonstrated over the 180 minutes that we've played against them. What was their idea? What did they try and do? The commentary in the first half was talking about how United, weren't really doing too much, and all right, we wasn't, but why was it on United to do it? We had a 3-0 lead. United don't need to do anything stupid because guess what? If this finishes 0-0, United are well through. Even if this finishes 1-0 to Forest, we are well through. It wasn't on United, it was on Forest to do something, and their idea of coming to Old Trafford to do something was to what? Play off the back foot? Didn't get what did they come and try and do? Like, I saw zero effort, zero fact, nothing. I know we sort of said it was done in the first leg, but because of how dominating we was in the first leg, realistically, it wasn't done. If they'd have scored in the first 10 minutes, there would have been a bit of a flap. And if they'd have scored a second before half time, that entire second half just is like absolute panic stations, because if they get the third, now you're in the shit. And it's a lot harder if you're Manchester United, if you concede those couple of early goals and like, now what do we do? And we did slight rotation, not a lot, but it was a little bit of rotation that was in there. And it could have backfired, but it didn't. And I got to say, Erik ten Hag, just this tremendous run that we are on at home, really pushing us through. And it's helping us establish a real representation of what we're about in the league in terms of the league position. But the fact that we're coming at it on all fronts, it's fantastic. Anthony Martial came on. I thought the pass, which he ended up scoring off, he passes it to Rashford, and then when he gets it back, I thought that pass wasn't quite the greatest pass I've ever seen. I thought it was a little bit behind him, a little bit difficult pass, and was fortunate to be in the right place at the right time to get the ricochet. But what it does do now is it gives Erik ten Hag the options. Martial's now fit enough to play games, or at least come off the bench in games. That means the horse has got to start producing, or continue producing, or continue to be effective. I think that would be fair. What we have now is two players going for one position. Hopefully drag the best out of both of those players. The other thing, and I'll probably touch on this more in 5 things when I've had a proper reassess of all of the stats that came from it. Not easy to do in the immediate game finishing. But I want to see what we actually got out of Jason Sanchez, because I thought he looked sharp, he looked like he'd lost weight, and he looked like he was in the right mindset. Didn't really do anything, but I'll tell you what I saw that made me think he's on it. And it was opposite movements. So he would, players that are in their own head, players that aren't on it, players that aren't focused, players that aren't revved up, don't do this. So he moved this way to come back and come short. And he did that to create a little bit of space. That's an intelligent piece of movement, but it's the sort of thing you expect at the highest level. It's not the sort of thing you expect from players that aren't informed, that are in their own head, that are depressed and all the other things. And it was a sharp piece of movement. And I saw a couple of times that he did that. I saw a couple of times where he used his body really intelligently. And obviously, he looked like he was playing in a slightly different position. It looked like he was playing more central with Bruno off over to the right-hand side. So that's an interesting development. You know, we were all talking about, can he go toe-to-toe with Antony for that right wing berth? We're going to find out. Actually, is he going to go toe-to-toe with Bruno for that number 10 spot? Now, Sancho's always been someone that... He isn't your very traditional blast past someone and spam crosses into the box. He's been a bit of a through ball kind of guy. That's his game. So it's going to be really interesting now, I think, to see what we actually get out of Jason Sanchez, when he returns. I think it's going to be fascinating. I actually can't wait to see it. And I think the differences that you get out of Anthony Martial, one being dribble and an absolute dead-eye finisher, and the other being a pressing machine, a lot more direct, capable of holding the ball up. Two totally different number 9s. This is on Ten Hag now. Select the right tool for the right job at the right time. And if it's not working, you do have the other guy on the bench, probably, to be able to bring it on and change something up or play them together. So there's a couple of interesting dynamics that are really starting to emerge in the team. You've now got, I think, the trust there with Garnacho that if Marcus needs a rest, we can start Garnacho. We're not quite there yet with Pellistri and Antony, but I think we might get there. And I was hoping Pellistri might have got a start tonight. Didn't happen. But maybe it's coming. Maybe he's going to continue to get 10, 15 minutes here and there like he's earned and like he's deserved. But yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, it was a little bit of a flat game, but the pressure wasn't on United to make anything happen today. And we still managed to put in a 2-0 very professional performance when the onus wasn't on us to do a damn thing. So very happy with how that's all played out. Very happy with the fact that Manchester United are now in a final. Very happy that I booked both my hotel and train tickets last week. So now it's just a case of making sure we got the tickets. Awesome. So that's it. And on top of that, hopefully we'll see a little bit of Sabitzer this weekend in the league. So yeah, chilling. Job's a good one. United are through to the final. And everything looks rosy. See you in the next one. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.